Most people work an 8-hour day, and they get 2 hours of productivity. I get 8 hours a day, and I get 7 hours, 7.5 hours of productivity. That's already 3 to 4 times what most people get. One other thing that happens with important is that we need to prioritize things. Who here thinks that we do urgent things first? How about important things before urgent things? We actually should do the most important things first. Urgency is a matter of emotion, right? We create an urgency. Who here has created their day with the most important thing to do, but they get so busy that by the end of the day, you hit yourself in the head and go, oh my God, I never called that person. It's a matter of prioritization. It's a habit. It's understanding the bigger picture that we need to do what's important first, right? If there's urgent and important, that's great, but then most important and then urgent. That performance will be critical in the 3 components of how to be productive. Productivity is very simple. It's a measurement to me. I actually am productive 64 hours a day. And the reason that I'm productive 64 hours a day, I call it the power of 64, is that I focus in on having twice as many productive hours. So if most people work 8 productive hours, I work 16. I then focus in on the efficiencies of those hours to turn the 16 hours to twice as efficient to 32 hours of production. And then I look at the statistical success of what I'm doing to double that to create 64 hours of production. So when people ask me, how do you speak internationally, have your own radio show on CNBC, run a business, have a family of 4 kids, happy marriage, travel, do all of these things? Well, it's easy because I have 64 hours a day that I'm doing things. If you look at time, I study time. You know, time is about productivity and activity. So I always tell people, if you want someone to do something, I would choose someone that knows how to be productive and active, not someone that sits at home high on their mom's couch or sleeps half the day. Right? There's no difference. I would tell you someone that sleeps half a day is way more busy than I am because they're unavailable, they're not accessible, they're not productive, and they're not active. I study it and I look for 4 things. How can I ask or attract to be productive and accessible? How do I ask and attract anyone in person, on the phone, via email, or social media by simply looking at my calendar? I look and see how efficient, effective, and statistically successful. When I am a student of my calendar, I'm looking at it and saying, okay, this be here, who else can I ask, what can I do? All of it's guide to being productive and accessible. And so I'm also looking at that white space, because white space will kill people in a calendar, because they think, oh, I have time off. I think what an opportunity it is to be more productive and more accessible. This calendar is for my desk, for my phone calls. I have another calendar right at home that looks like this, that has from 4 a.m. until 7:30 a.m. when I leave. And literally it says, make breakfast for your son, right? It lists off every single thing so that I can be productive and accessible for that 3.5 hours. On top of the productivity, I am more statistically successful because I do it now, right? I'm more efficient with my time. These are all multiples on top of it. I can get 64 to 100 times the productivity in one day than an average person. And then they wonder why I'm more successful than they are, or I get more of what I want out of my life than they do. Purpose, passion, and profitability. You know why? Not because I'm smarter. I'm beating them with math. I'm beating them with math. That's all I'm doing.